Question number 26. This is a 5-mark question and it is very difficult because there's quite a lot of stuff you need to be able to do in order to get through to the end of the question. So let me show you all the things you need to know before you can tackle this question. And we'll start off with, you need to know the sine and the cosine of 60 degrees. Now, this is a non-calculator paper, so you can't use your calculator to work those things out. Some people simply learn them, I think, and other people, like me, who've got a very poor memory, we decide, well, instead of trying to learn them, I will learn where they come from. How do I get these things? So to get the exact value of the sine and cosine of 60, you sketch for yourself, you don't need to draw this accurately, an equilateral triangle. Say that the sides of the equilateral triangle are 2, so that half side down at the bottom there is 1. Then you can fill in 60 degrees, bottom right, and top left, although we don't need it at the moment, is 30 degrees. And we can get the length of the vertical side using Pythagoras. It's the square root of 2 squared minus 1 squared. 2 squared is 4, 1 squared is 1, 4 take away 1 is 3. So that vertical side is root 3, the square root of 3. Okay, now I can work out both the sine and the cos of 60 degrees. The cos of 60 degrees is quite easy. That's adjacent over hypotenuse. That's 1 over 2, or a half. And the sine of 60 degrees, that's opposite over hypotenuse. That's root 3 over 2. I'm going to need both of those in order to do this question. Right, that's just for a start. The next thing you need to be able to do is you need to know the formula for the area of a triangle. And what's the formula for the area of that triangle? It's a half times A times B times the sine of C. So you need to know that formula for the area of a triangle. Next, you need to know the Cos Rule. So the Cos Rule tells you that A squared is B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. In that diagram there, little a squared is B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos A. And finally, as if that weren't enough, you need to know how to handle surds, because if you look at this question, the area of the triangle is 25 root 3 centimetres squared, so you've got to be able to deal with that as well. Okay, let's get going then. How do we start on this question? Well, first of all, I'll work out an expression for the area of this triangle. Now that will be half times 20 times x times sine of 60. Well, half of 20 is 10, so 10x, and then the sine of 60, that's root 3 over 2, isn't it? So that's going to come out altogether to 5 root 3x. But that's equal to 25 root 3, because they tell you that in the question. Well, you can cancel by the root 3 there, and that gives you that 5x is 25, so x is 25 divided by 5, that's just 5. There we go. So we know what x is now. X is 5. Okay, that's done that bit. Now every bit that you can do correctly will get you more marks. So you don't necessarily have to get all 5 marks or nothing. You can get marks for doing, well, this little bit and that little bit. Right, next thing I need to do is I need to use the Cos Rule. And the Cos Rule here, I use it to try to work out W. It tells me that W squared is x squared. We just worked out x, it's 5. X squared plus 20 squared minus 2 times 20 times x times the cos of 60. Now work out what all that lot comes to. 5 squared is 25, 20 squared is 400, minus a half times 200. And all that works out to 325. That's W squared So W is equal to the square root of 325. Another tricky little bit here, because you've got to be able to spot without your calculator that you can do something with 325, and you realise, well, 325 is actually one whole number multiplied by another. It's in fact 25 times 13, and the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 13, well, that's just root 13. So there we go. W is 5 root 13. That's a very lengthy question. There's a great deal of stuff that you have to be confident with, otherwise you just can't do the question at all. There you go, 5 marks if you manage to struggle your way right through that question.